Hey peeps, Amma here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be talking about marriage life, how married couples can have a happy marriage life. Joining me for this interesting conversation is Brad and Tshililo Billingsley. And just to give you a mini bio about the couple, Brad and Tshililo live in the USA and they have been together for 7 years and married for 5 years. They have 4 children, 1 child together, 1 child from Tshililo's previous relationship, and 2 children from Brad's previous relationship. I asked the couple to share with me one thing that they love about each other, and this is what they said. Tshililo said she loves Brad's level of commitment, and Brad said he loves that Tshililo shares the same goals with him, goals such as traveling. How awesome. Brad and Tshililo, it's so lovely to have you on my channel. Welcome, and thanks a lot for joining me. Truly appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having us. We're excited to do this, and we're honored to be a part of this. This is great. Thank you.
Great. So I'm going to just jump straight to the first question. How do you guys manage conflicts? Like, let's say you are in public, or maybe you're in front of your children, and let's say either Brad or Tshililo does something or says something that you're not happy with or you're not comfortable with. How do you handle this?
Well, like the conflict, like at home, of course, I think it's important for children when they're growing up. We don't like, oh, well, we can't argue in front of, arguing is part of life, it's part of relationship, and arguing is coming to it. It's part of compromising to come to an agreement at the end. And I think it's important for children, in a household. Of course, you have to, be cordial and can't be violent or like in terms of yelling or screaming, but you have to, you teach them that. What if you teach what you are displaying and how you interact with each other, and you show them how conflict is resolved. And I think personally that's very important. And it's not like, oh well, let's go to the bedroom and talk about this. Of course, it depends on the
level of
but let's just say that we're arguing about grocery bill or something like that, then that's important to I think let the kids see for themselves and come to their own conclusion. But as far as things in public, I mean, I can't remember. It's going to be a quiet discussion. Let's say we can't agree on how we want to chip on the president. Like I didn't like the service and she liked the service and we disagree with that. Well, it's not going to be, we're not going to bring other people into our discussion. It's going to be between us and it's going to be on the low low. So
yes.
As far as public confrontation or arguing, I honestly, in the 7 years that we've been together, I cannot think of one time where
I don't even see why people would want to do that.
I think that's just showing off. That's just,
yeah, it's not necessary. Basically, it's just a matter of just keep it to yourselves. Like if there's an argument, arguments are healthy. It's healthy to have an argument. It's different when now it becomes a fight. Like. Fights are not necessary in a relationship. Arguments are okay, they're healthy. And like you were saying, with the children, in front of the children, we do argue, but we don't call them fights because fights are now physical and yelling and all that.
Out of control.
There's no point to get to that level at all.
True.
If you with someone you care about, basically.
That's true. Wow. So I also just want to know, okay, first of all, we know that we all come to relationships with our own imperfections. So that is an obvious one. But I'm very keen to know, how do you guys tolerate each other's imperfections?
How do we tolerate each other's imperfections?
I can say, let me start. I can start on that one. And before you marry someone, these are the things that you have to establish before you get married, because and be able to tolerate their imperfections before you get into the marriage, because it's so hard to change personality. Like, it's so hard for people to change as adults, So immediately establish that and know that, I can tolerate this. So I don't know, she's not the most cleanest person in the house, I mean, you can't change that about if I don't want to change, I won't change it. Don't expect me to be any different when you get married to me. So if you can tolerate it, get into the marriage, and then not expect me to change the way you met.
So if you it is important that before you get married, that you fully accept that person and understand the fault, and it's important to spend time to know each other, and if you're open and honest and talk about things, and hey, I know that, you have to know yourself too. You have to know, I'm not perfect, and sometimes this is an issue. So sometimes I'll give you an example. I can wake up and I could be cranky, and I could be not the most pleasant
morning person.
Yes.
That's how it is.
I'll have a coffee, and that's something that I do have to work on. I mean, I have to tone it down. I don't want to bring anybody else into it, but
I knew that before we got married, and
and you were fine with it. You told yourself accept.
I can tolerate it.
Right. And but this is the mistake that a lot of people do make, is that that's okay that this person is lazy, or that's okay that this person is financially irresponsible, or that's okay.
Oh, I can change him. Right, I can work on it.
That's not good.
That is
no.
That is setting yourself up for
failure,
a major failure. And you really have to. And you have to be mature to and to know yourself and to know the other person before you really can.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's just say, this person is like the worst housekeeper. I mean, can I, what can I do to fix that for myself, to put myself in a good place, and not because that's an example. Or
like, if a person, let's say you meet, and then someone has a financial irresponsibility,
right,
and you know about it. If you know about it, it's the matter of, before you get married, talk about it. Listen, I'm going to be the financial manager, since we have established that, because you love that person with their imperfections. So you're just trying to say, okay, fine, this is the way you are. I'm going to manage the finances. You can manage this part, because that's not your strength.
I see. So it's make use of each other's strengths. Find what was your strength, and then also discover your weaknesses, and then I see. So it's like finding that balance, and
two imperfect people, becoming perfect together.
I love that. Wow. That's like the best advice there, like definitely. So you guys are an interracial couple, and we know that it's not everyone is in support of multiracial marriages. And so how do you handle societal pressures in this regard? I mean, I'm sure there's always those people that are just against you as a couple, and so how do you deal with that?
I think it's just like anything else. I mean, you have people that are gay people, and and there are certain groups. There's always going to be a group out there out of 7 billion people in this world that will not accept you no matter what. There are people that will not accept you for your religious background. There are people that won't accept you for the way you look, or there are people that won't accept the fact that you are.
She's too tall. The husband is too short.
Things like that.
People always have something to stare at.
Somebody's always going to have something to say. But honestly, I've been to South Africa several times, and I think that we've been approached more often in South Africa. Like strangers, complete strangers on the street, they come up to us and or will give us that eye, like, what are you doing, kind of thing. Why are you, dating out of your race? But in the U.S., we lived in Las Vegas for several years, and I honestly, I think it's nobody really gave it a thought. I mean, you know, you might have people like at the mall, at the shopping center, or in public, you know, kind of give you a real quick turn, but they don't, you know, they don't come up to me or her and say, "Hey, what are you guys doing? What are you crazy?" Like that. But but I think that we are in different times too. I think if this was 20 years ago, I think that it would be a different environment. You know?
People will have a lot of opinions, I guess.
You know?
But now I think really it's becoming very normal.
Yeah.
You know, if for the lack of a better word, normal, but there's no normal relationship. It's just a relationship, you know. So yeah, like you were saying, here in the US, yes, people, I guess they do stare. I think we just ignore those people.
You know, you just have to let them think what they want to think. You know, you're not interchangeable.
They will always have something to say. You know, people always.
That's true. There's always something. Yeah. So you just mind your own business and move on, because they'll always have something to say. Totally.
Exactly.
I want to know, do you guys have any challenges, like anything that came from you as a multiracial couple, which you may have faced living in the USA? I know you said something about how people were looking at you guys when you guys come to South Africa, but I want to know if you have any challenge that you guys faced as a multiracial couple, which put your marriage through a test. You know, you get those challenges that really can feel they're putting you through a test. I'm keen to know whether you've had that, and if you did, how do you deal with the issue?
Okay, so what happens is that this is the way we do have challenges, you know, like any other couple. It's normal to have challenges, and it's how you deal with the challenges. But related to the fact that we are multiracial, yes, we may have disagreements when it comes to maybe cultural differences. Like we do have cultural differences, but not really because he's white and black. Because I mean, if you spend so much time with a person, sometimes I even forget that he's white, you know?
Right. Yeah. I think that there is a novelty factor at the very beginning. But you know what? After a while, or a couple of weeks, or days, you know, that slowly fades out. I mean, that's not a part of the
interracial.
We are who we are, and I know that you know
he's just a white person by color. And a black person by
it's just
skin
something
color.
that you already know and accept when you get into the relationship or get married. I mean, it's not like, oh my gosh, you're gonna change me and I'm gonna change you.
And then you forget that in your brain, you really forget that this person is really it's a different race. Even when we talk, you know, you should hear us when we talk politics or anything, or racial injusticeness, or all these things. We talk black and white. Like I will be blaming white people, you know, to him, and he will be blaming white people and black people. I'll be blame, you know, we just talk like normal, like a regular same race couple. So there is no reservation that, oh, I shouldn't say this to him because this is about white people. I will come home and be like, can you believe that white person there? Can you just believe what, you know what I mean?
And so why do you think this is the case? How come you guys are so free and so comfortable, you know, the way you're telling me now? What is driving you? Is it the true love? Is it maybe the amount of time you took to know each other? What is driving you? I want to know.
What is driving us?
We're very comfortable with each other.
Right, we are comfortable with each other.
We are best friends before anything, you know.
We help and support each other's goals and endeavors, and you know, and we also have to work on our individuality. I mean, to accept that, you know, we are a couple, but we are also one person. You know, I have my own interest, and you know, and she has her own interest, and you know, she has her own goals, and vice versa, and. You know, and sometimes, you know, her goals aren't, you know, on the same thing that I strive for, but we have to support each other and give each other space to, you know, accomplish those things. And, you know, we don't,
We don't compete. We're not competing. We're not in a competition. We just
basically, it's a choice that you make to get together, and I mean, it's your choice to love a person. And
so you are more of a team. You are more of a team, and so that's how you make it.
Exactly. When we get something accomplished, or when we get a goal over the finish line, we will say like Team Billingsley, and
beautiful. I love that.
And that's for the whole family. When Callie and I or Sheely, all of us together get something accomplished, we'll like do the cheer like Team Billingsley, go Team Billingsley.
So I know you have couples that get jealous of how outside people are looking at them. Let's say it's a female, and so the male will be jealous maybe at how the wife's male friends are looking at her, things like that. So I want to find out from you, is it normal to be jealous? Let me ask Tshililo first. Tshililo, is it normal to be jealous of Brad's female friends? Well, if it is normal, to what extent should you do this? So that is Tshililo. I want you to answer that, and then I'll then ask the very same question to Brad.
Okay.
But is it normal to be jealous? I mean, that's not really normal. That's just,
I think,
that's just really more of a, where are you in terms of being secure in yourself? But I'm fine. I'll let you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So when it comes to our relationship, maybe in the beginning, before you get married to someone, maybe in the beginning of the relationship, we got married within like a year plus, so probably in the beginning you can be a little bit, because there's some sense of insecurity in the beginning. You're just trying to get to know each other. You just met this person. You don't really know a lot about them. But after a while, you can have as many female friends as you can.
Why is that the case, Tshililo? Is it because you have already established that he is real to you and he's given you his all, so you know that no matter how many female friends he will have, and that maybe they won't even stand a chance? Because you also do get those female friends that will be all over your husband, but do you also just know that whatever they do, they won't stand a chance because he's given? Okay, I see.
Yeah, it's like it's his loss, basically, if he does. If he does go and do something with them, it's his loss. I'm here. You just have to be very secure in yourself. Be 100% secure that he needs me more than I need him. So basically that kind of mentality.
Yeah.
And he feels the same way. Like he's, I would like to believe so. Like which you just have to really have that 100% trust and love who you are. That individual love that we
yes.
We on that. Like we really, you 100% sure you take great care of yourself. You are 100% sure that you are wanted. You are loved, and you love yourself too. So if he goes, too bad, too sad. We move on, right? So
yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Okay, Brad. So same question, but to you. So Brad, I want to know: do you think it's normal to be jealous of Tshililo's male friends? And if it is, to what extent should you be jealous?
Well, it really is about knowing your self-worth. I'll say that. But, let me give you a little context here. At the very beginning of the relationship, and we met 7 years ago. Yeah, she is, getting to know Sheila. She's a different person. I mean, that I've ever been, a different person that I've ever been with. She's an extrovert by nature. I mean, you can't change that. She's very gregarious, and she's very friendly, and she's always has a smile. And whenever you go out in public, I mean, even now, people are always drawn and attracted to that. I mean, we literally, like we were in Miami a couple of weeks ago, and people would literally come up to her and, I want to talk to her and compliment her about her hair or what she's wearing or something that she was doing, and and that happens all the time. And at the beginning, like guys would come up, hey, can I, can we have a dance or something like that? And I would be a little jealous because in a relationship with me, and I was touch insecure, of course, because I didn't know Sheila, but I know Sheila now. So and when people come up to her, as they do, quite often, both male and female, it's actually, that makes me feel good because, hey, I'm with somebody that I know is, outgoing and people like, and she's very approachable, and she, she is fun. That's really how I look at it. So and sometimes you can learn something from other people because, everyone knows something that you don't know. So it's really, I think that would be very insecure. And I don't think that I'm a jealous person. I mean, like I said, I know Sheila and
we know each other very well. So and we want to be together. We 100%, when you want to be with someone,
yes,
you're not, it's not like there's an obligation that we're together. There's no.
Yeah. So the feeling is mutual. You both want to be with each other. And so no matter what happened, no matter what people are doing, how they look at you, how they want maybe to even be with you, they don't really stand a chance because you guys have established that we
want to be together. We want to spend the rest of our lives together. Even if the most beautiful girl become his friend, I will not be insecure because I know he wants to be with me. However way people describe beauty, I feel like I'm the most beautiful girl ever.
And you are in his eyes.
It's stunningly gorgeous, and you are the most beautiful woman in my heart. You own my heart.
And whoever who can even same with me, if a guy, in my eyes, Brad, he's the most perfect person. He's the most handsome man in my life, and I don't even see. I don't know. You just can see something. Okay, this one has a six pack or whatever. And my husband doesn't have a six pack, but he doesn't. And there's so much that you want to be together in a nutshell.
So it's very clear that you guys are just truly, truly in love. Very, very inspiring, and how I really just wish that for everybody who is considering getting married or who is in marriage, because I think it's really good to go for that true love, which you guys clearly have, or any words of wisdom or any tips, do's and don'ts, anything for married couples or anyone who's considering getting married, just to help them, to have a happy marriage life, which you guys clearly have, and to prevent getting divorced.
Well, where we are right now, this wasn't like, we just got together and here we are. It takes work. It's a commitment to work with each other and to, hash things out all the time. It is work, and you have to be committed to doing that. And like I said earlier, love is a feeling, but it really, at the end, it's a choice. You make that decision to be together. And now, I think it's also important to ask a lot of questions before you get married. And there are tons of materials out there, books. One thing that comes off the top of my head is like the 5 love languages. It's a good idea to sit and talk about, what drives you in terms of love. Is it and
we did that.
And our love language is really different. It's starkly different, and by understanding that and knowing that really takes out a little of the edges. And also, there are questions that you really need to sit down and really be honest with yourself, and don't just say, well, once you get married, and
we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Right, because if one person is a spender and the other person is a saver, well, right off the bat, that's a red flag, and that's going to cause problems. You have to, and if one person is a spender and one person is a saver, you have to.
Unless you agree, unless you're okay with that imperfection, and then you figure out a way on how you're going to deal with it, then you can get married. But if you don't, and you don't like, don't do it. Because this is a lifetime commitment that you're making with this person. True. You have to really get to know each other. Number one, that I cannot emphasize that enough. And it's not even about the time frame. You can you can court or be in a in a so-called get to know each other stage for 5 years and still don't know each other, you know? And people do get to know each other within a week and get married within a week, and everyone will be like, oh, that was quick. No, trust me, people do you can get to know someone at whatever period. It's not about the time frame, it's about how much you really get to learn about each other.
Yes. And how you relate and stuff like that.
How you relate. You have to really spend a lot of time together, you know, because there are some people who get married, they don't even, they courted since high school or something, but they still don't know each other because they didn't really spend time to do that. And the other thing also, when you get into the relationship, the one thing that I cannot emphasize enough, and it sounds very cliche when people say, I'm married to my best friend. Trust me, the best friend thing works. You cannot not be friends. You have to be friends before anything. It has to be part of it, because this is what happens. There are times where there won't be a lot of in love feeling. It's not always there.
Right. It's very dynamic. It's not static. It's not like.
Right.
If you don't have friendship,
then it won't work.
You're going downhill, because now the friendship is going to be taking over when you in love is not there. So now it's like, this is still my best friend. I still care about him. I still respect my friend. I still, all these other areas now will be covered by friendship. Then when we come together again and become in love, now the in love thing, butterflies, they come and go. So people get married based on the butterflies, and they forget about the most important part.
So friendship, so from what I'm getting from you, and which I think this is really amazing, and how I really wish everyone can hear this. So what I'm getting is that friendship kind of creates that foundation for you. It's like it has that foundation that when the love butterflies are missing, you still fall onto this foundation that still holds you together. This is what it's called friendship. That's what you say.
Friendship is the foundation of all relationships.
It should.
And statistically speaking, when you marry your best friend, the chances of divorce, your chances of divorce is dramatically decreased.
Okay, well, thanks a lot, Brad and Tshililo, for joining me. It's been just such an honor having you, listening to you, and just hearing your experiences as an interracial couple, and how you guys are just so in love. I really, really wish everyone who's thinking of getting married, everyone who's in a marriage already, can listen to this, can hear this, because we all need just a reminder of how to make it work, just to have that happy marriage life. So thanks a lot for creating the time for this conversation.
Pleasure is all mine. I'm glad to be here, and I really enjoy discussing, and sharing ideas and thoughts with you. It's just including our pleasure.
I like your questions. They were very thoughtful, and I hope our answers really can help, those who want to get married, and the married couples out there on how to, have a healthy relationship. It's important to have a healthy relationship. It doesn't have to be perfect or anything like that. So thank you for having us. We really appreciate that.